Well, welcome into the next episode of Nix Stars in Lockdown. We've done all the stars. Let's get to the real star of the show. The coach, Ufuk Talay, is with us. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been good. It's been like we've been in hibernation for a long time and just waiting to get out of it, to be honest. Now things have cooled down a little bit, so looking forward to get a chance to get the boys back on the park.
Give us a bit of a summary of the last couple of months for you. What have you been up to?
Not a lot, to be honest. The first 2 weeks was great coming back from Australia once the competition got postponed because we had to go into quarantine. I wasn't allowed to touch or do anything, so I was treated like a king the first couple of weeks. But after that couple of weeks, it was back to normality in the house. And I know my missus ain't here at the moment. She'd probably say I still did nothing, but no, it was good. We don't get a lot of time to be honest during the season and the work that we do to spend it with the family. But I think it went a little bit over than what we expected.
Indeed. So how much contact have you had with the players during this time apart from them physically?
A lot of contact with the players. We've been doing Zoom sessions with the boys 3 times a week. We've been over the phone and through WhatsApp. So we've been in contact with the players just to keep them ticking over, keep their minds ticking over as well. The first few Zoom sessions I joined into, and then after that I realised that this is too much for me. So most times when I joined in, I just watched the boys do the sessions. So, but that's the only way we could obviously use technology to keep in contact with each other.
How do you think they would have handled being put into a situation that is so foreign to them? These are, professional sports people who are so used to being active every day in and around a team environment. They've basically been cocooned away. How do you think, for the most part, they would have coped?
I think it would have been difficult. For me, it was difficult, to be honest. It was probably one of the hardest things I've done. The good thing is obviously you're with your family, and most of the guys are either with their girlfriends or their wives. So and some of the boys we allowed to, obviously because of their circumstances, to stay back into their countries. So that would have helped to be in a familiar environment. But I still think it would have been tough. But like we said, we tried to keep the boys active as much as we could, and we tried we stayed in contact with them just to keep their minds ticking over as well. And everyone's just waiting for dates to work towards at this stage. So we've done what we need to do, and we're thankful that I come back to New Zealand and things are going very well in New Zealand. With I think the country's done well in itself to get to this point. So hopefully a lot of things can go back to normal.
Do you have any update, Ufuk, on when you might be able to get back on the grass? I mean, I know that we're down at alert level now. Is there any light here? Have you got any date you might be back on the grass?
Well, the discussions that have been had at the moment, I think it's looked maybe like June that we'll be back on the park. So early June, maybe June 1, that we'll be able to start training. There's still a lot of protocols that we need to go through, and the club's going through at the moment with New Zealand Sport. We just need to make sure the environment is safe for the players to come in and actually do their work and make sure they're doing the right things once they leave Martin Lucky as well. So it's because there's at the end of the day, we're talking about people's health, and the players need to do the right things, and we need to make sure that we've got everything sorted out there for them as well, so it's nice and safe for players and staff.
And you're still hearing that there might be some sort of possibility of resuming the season maybe back into July into August?
Yeah, there's speak about resuming the season, but we don't know the exact date. So maybe July or August, or I'm sure the boys are pretty keen to finish off what they started. It's going to be a little mini pre-season during the season again, as we speak about. The A-League pre-season is long enough, and now we've got to add another pre-season into the season. So, I'm sure the boys are keen. I thought we were in a good way when the league got postponed, but it's an opportunity for the players and the boys to get back out there and showcase what they can do, hopefully.
How long do you reckon you'd need to get them match ready again? They were going along so well. How long you reckon you'd need before they could hit the ground again?
Look, I think we could work around 4 weeks before we started the season. The difference between having a 4-week pre-season and a normal pre-season that we have is in Europe, the players will have a 4-week off-season, and then they'll go back into a pre-season and then start the season, because the seasons are longer, obviously, in Europe. But the hardest thing now is the boys have had 8 weeks of nearly a layoff, where they've pretty much, obviously gone for a jog, or they've done some Zoom sessions with us, but it's not the same as playing a 90-minute match. So, it's going to take a gradual build up, but we're going to need at least 4 weeks to hopefully get into a certain point.
I mean, this is a frustrating time for everybody and every sports person, but I mean, is it doubly so for you and your team in that you were doing so well? You won your last 4 games. You're up to third, only a couple of points off second. Is there a double sense of frustration because you were going so well?
Yeah, I thought, like I said, I think towards the back end of the season, we were getting some great form and we were playing some really good football. And it's disappointing that what has happened, but we can't control what happens around the world, and that's something that's out of our control. And what we can control now is an opportunity that the season will resume, and hopefully we can plan and prepare the players and get them ready to finish off where we left off from.
Has anything in your playing or coaching career prepared you for something like this?
No, to be honest. No, they say this comes around once every 100 years or something.
Let's
like
hope
that. So the next time it comes around, I might not be around. But the reality is, like, nothing prepares you for this. The only thing you can do is make sure people are safe and people are getting through this mentally as well. Physically they might not be doing the work that they were doing beforehand, but I think the mental side of things plays a massive role as well.
Do you expect that you'll have the full contingent back?
Yeah, the expectation is that we're what the club and what we've been working towards is maintaining the squad that we've had this season. I believe that's the best way of getting through the rest of this season, and the aim is to have everyone back.
And as far as guys who are off contract, do you start having discussions with them? I know we're at unusual times, but do you start talking to them, or can that wait?
Yeah, it's a tough one. You'd like to sit down and talk with people, but I think the biggest thing now is getting through the rest of the season, and then I think after August we can plan and prepare for what it looks like for the season after.
So when you're not thinking about football, which I know for you isn't very often, what else have you been doing? Have you found ways to keep yourself occupied?
We've been, to be honest, I've been coming up with a lot of profiling for players in positions and stuff like that, keeping myself occupied. I've been on Instat Scout, which is I'm just watching a lot of the bigger teams in Europe and just analysing how they set up and how they do things and just trying to analyse that. Just keeping my brain ticking over. Just finding new ways of doing things, because things may possibly change next year with the squad and the players that we bring in. So we want to not revamp but add to our team and what we can do to become better for next season as well. So and then Netflix is getting a good run as well with the family as well. So we've sat down and started to watch Ozark and I'm quite enjoying that at the moment. So yeah, a bit of football at times and some Netflix to chill as well.
And what about some exercise? You must be getting some exercise as well, are you?
I've probably been on more walks than I have in my entire life in the last, I reckon, 30, 40 days. We go down for a walk with my missus. We'll walk around town, and I actually turn my Huawei watch on and to see how far I've walked and how many steps I've done. So we try to, at the start it was around 5Ks, and then we started to get to around 9Ks at the end of the day. So yeah, we'll just try to stay active at the same time.
And you got a decent coffee? You've got somewhere to get decent coffee now that we're down on an alert level or so?
Yeah, even though I've moved my place in Wellington to another place, I've still gone to my old local to get a coffee. So yeah, we luckily we had a machine here, and the coffee's been getting smashed at home. But it was nice to get a coffee outside.
Good stuff. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you back out there. The fans are as well. Any parting thoughts for the fans of the Wellington Phoenix Football Club?
No, we appreciate their support during the season, and hopefully when things come back to normal and we can get crowds back into the stadium, we look to see more there and supporting the team. And they should know that the boys, every time they put on that Wellington Phoenix jersey, they have a lot of pride in that emblem and on their chest. And they go out there to do the best they possibly can. And we miss you all. And I've missed my players. Like when I did the Zoom call yesterday and had everyone on board, first thing I said to them was, I miss you very much. And I just can't wait to get back on the park with the players. And hopefully we can see the fans there soon as well.
Yep, everybody's looking forward to seeing that as well. Thanks for taking the time, Ufuk. Hope to see you in person soon.
No problem, Piney. Nice seeing you, mate.